Hi, this is Billy at DePaula Jewelers. Today we've got something special. A silver bar here, and luckily a good friend of mine is here to tell us all about this bar. World famous treasure hunter and star of Pawn Stars, Mr. Carl Fismer.
Billy.
Hey Carl.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. We got something real special here for you. Can you tell me about this, please?
Obviously, it's an Atocha bar. I know you've seen them before, but
Right.
this one's pretty darn nice. This is the owner's initials here. Was on his way back to Spain to make the owners rich. Unfortunately, as you know, it sank. There were 1,000 of these manifested on the Atocha. That sounds like a lot, but it's really not much in the overall big picture of treasure. This was the serial number. This was the purity rating, and of course this little hole here, that was where the assayer scooped and tested to make sure of the purity, because a lot of people would try to water the silver down, and that was a no-no. The king did not like anybody that did that. In fact, no trial, just strangulation. So they're very particular about that. And the assayer, you never knew where he was going to take his test.
Oh, that's how much is something like that worth?
What's the weight on this one?
This one here is about 60, 70 pounds.
Yeah, it's like a 70-pound.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's all right. It's
my scales don't go that high.
Don't you worry. Melt value on that at 70 pounds, give or take $30,000.
Wow.
So you got that right here. Artifact value, you need to add on something like this 10 to 15%. So probably about $35,000 would be a good price on that.
At the least, right?
Yeah, and you know where most people make money on these, they cut the top off like this, because that's all your historic information.
That's where all the marks are right there.
And the rest is just bulk silver. So there's 3 different companies that actually make replica Atocha coins out of the bulk silver. So what you get is it's 100% sunken treasure. Right. It's just in a different form than when it sank.
That's interesting.
Yeah, well, it is. Nice artifact, though. Of course, you could use it for a doorstop.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty expensive doorstop.
Yeah. By the way, the display's looking good here. I haven't seen it for a while, but you keep adding to it.
Yep, keep getting lucky finding all these new artifacts around.
Good.
Well, thanks for visiting us, Carl.
Sure. I'm not leaving just yet.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm going to look around and maybe I'll find a deal on a coin here. We got a couple of really cool artifacts here. Like this.
Yeah, what is that, Carl?
Yeah, that's 1/2 of a bronze cannonball, sank 380 years ago.
What are those holes for?
Yeah,
is it an inferior product or something?
No, inferior. Iron chain went in there, and it was maybe this long, and it was stuck in the other half of this cannonball. So they put it down the barrel, but when they'd shoot it, it'd snap open like this and start spinning around. You never want to get hit with something like that.
No.
It was used to tear up the rigging and the sails on enemy ships. And regardless what you see on the internet about bronze cannonballs, we were the first to bring them in. 1988, oddly enough, we found 88 of them intact and halves. And that's the only souvenir I've got from that wreck. We also found thousands of coins. I didn't get one of them. But that is a nice artifact. And I wouldn't sell it if it's the only one you got, because you won't find no more.
Wow. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that before.
That's right. Well, that's why they're rare and scarce.
Yeah, I guess so.
Bronze cannonball, half of one.
What else we got here? That was fascinating. I don't know how we're going to top that one.
Well, we're not. Well, I know how we can top it.
Oh, let's get a drink. Sounds good to me.
This is, you got any beer? This is an original Bass ale bottle.
Wow.
Early 1800s. It came off a wreck over near Bimini in the Bahamas. Some of them had the original cork in them. Anyhow, look at that. It's not chipped, cracked, anything.
So this survived underwater like that?
It sure did.
That's amazing, just thinking about it.
You can see it was put together in 3 parts if you study the lines real close. And that's called a kick, where the bottom goes up. that bottle's probably worth, if I had to guess, if it was mine, I wouldn't sell it for $100. So probably 150, maybe 200, but
wow,
there just ain't that many.
All that for a bottle. What else we got going on?
Clump of coins.
Now clump, how does that form like that?
Yeah, well, this is a clump of copper coins, meaning the less expensive coins, which is why we don't take them apart and sell them as neck hangers.
Yeah.
But the silver coins are all stuck together as well, and it's a good thing to show somebody interested in buying a coin.
What shipwreck was that from?
This came from a wreck called the Admiral Gardener, sank in January of 1808, and it has the British lions and shield on one side,
right,
and Indian writing on the back. This was going to be money used in India to pay the labor, which was almost slave labor, I guess, but it sank off the Goodwin Sands in England, and a good friend of mine worked that wreck.
That's interesting.
The History Channel did a 2-hour show on that. I don't know if you saw it, but I watch all that. And there was like 500,000 of these, and they were sucking them up through an airlift.
Wow,
that was amazing. It was amazing.
Hey Carl, I got this strange piece here. What is this exactly?
That exactly is a ballast rock. A ballast, you know, they put them in the bottom of the ships to stabilize them, but right here you've got a piece of 8 stuck to a ballast rock.
Wow.
And that's from the wreck of the Concepcion, 1641.
How did it get stuck there?
Well, you know, when the ship broke apart on the reef, coins were falling everywhere, and that one landed on one of the rocks and has been on it since 1641. Just I don't have the heart to take it off.
That's
I don't know anybody else that's got one like that. Cool. These are just nails that are encrusted, bronze nails. I only know of 2 Spanish galleons that were fitted in bronze. And this wreck was called the Leocadia. And it sank in the year 1800 in Ecuador. I worked at about 15 years ago, I guess. I've got a jar of clean nails, but I said we can't clean them all. You got to leave some just the way they came off the bottom.
We've got a couple of the clean ones I've seen. I haven't seen the clump ones you've got, but we have some of the clean ones available for sale here, right?
Yes, we do. Cheap, too. A genuine Spanish galleon artifact.
It's neat to get an artifact for
$15, $20 or something.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Here's a nice piece.
Is that a shoehorn?
That's a bronze musket butt.
Oh, you know, sorry.
This goes up against your shoulder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's actually from Revolutionary War times, late 1700s, and it actually came from a ship that sank during the Revolutionary War. So, and look at the shape it's in. Bronze is good.
So, I think George Washington was using that one?
You know something?
Tossed it overboard?
I was just going to mention that. George Washington used it, and then he presented it to Thomas Jefferson, who then handed it to my great-great-great-great-grandfather and said, here's a souvenir. That's a lie. But no, it was revolutionary stuff.
Hey Carl, I saw this around the other day. What is this exactly? Looks like a fancy rock to me.
It's a big piece of what we call an Alibaba jar. They stand about this high. I've got a hole in it home in my garage.
Wow.
This sank in 1733, just about 4 miles south of here on the wreck of the Chavez.
Just 4 miles south of here?
Yeah, on the wreck of the Chavez. It's right off Snake Creek. But what was good about this one was they used to carry wine in them, and of course they like wine. But if some high-ranking official, like a captain general, were to die, they'd stick him in this big jug and take him back to Spain for internment.
So they would stick him in a jar of wine.
Well, that was
empty.
Pickling them.
Oh, for pickling them. Wow.
Yeah, and but if a common sailor like you were to die, they just throw you right
Feed
over
me to the sharks.
Yeah. But this piece actually had human bones laying around it. So the 1733 fleet did have some high-ranking, and he wasn't on the manifest, but he was on his way back to Spain to get buried. Didn't make it.
So you found it next to some real human bones?
Yeah, and there were other big pieces of the jar laying around, but over the years they've come and gone. Big pieces, you know, you can stick in museums. The small broken pieces, like we get the most of, you just put them in a box and save them.
Wow.
That's not Alibaba jar. You see how thick it was? That thing was like standing this high. That was the largest of all the Spanish containers. You've
That's
got
amazing.
that smaller one sitting up on your...
Yeah, let me grab that one for you.
This was that's about as small as they made. And this is called a beehive olive jar because it kind of looks like a beehive. And this was the owner's mark. Most of these things didn't have initials on them. This one did. That makes it better. Of course, this piece was broken and repaired by Duke Long, Duke's been dead 20 years now, but
he was one of the best restorers
he
there are.
he was the best. Sadly missed by friends. I scattered his ashes on 3 different shipwrecks. But that's the beehive olive jar. This was the Alibaba.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. This is interesting. As you can tell, obviously it came from a shipwreck. But we're not exactly sure which one, because this piece was in Art McKee's museum.
Art McKee.
The first treasure museum in the United States. Art built that in 1949 and 50, and Art is the father of modern day treasure hunting. After Art died, I wanted to, some of his stuff. So with everything the family was selling off, I was in line to buy.
Art taught you how to treasure dive, right?
Yeah, Art was. I forced myself on him because I knew on my own I wasn't doing too good. So I drove down to his house and said, "Have pity on me," which he did.
So find the
find
the expert and ask for
and
help.
I said, Art, you're the father of modern day treasure hunting. He said, well, you can call me that, but don't call me the grandfather. Anyhow, this was probably made either in the Netherlands or Germany. This type of, that's where all these bottles came from. But it's too bad I don't know the wreck. Art didn't tell me, but I got it now.
Well, speaking of jars, I've got a cup here. You can pour a little of that in there.
Yeah, we could. This is in really good condition considering there's a couple of holes in it. But that is they called fluted silver cup. And it has touch marks on it. You know, all of the silversmiths and pewtersmiths had to go through training, and the king himself had to approve their touch mark. This cup came off the 1715 fleet near Fort Pierce.
Fort Pierce, okay.
Yeah, but the wreck is up near Sebastian, Florida. We worked there for 12 years, and this was one of the artifacts. This was actually recovered by Jack Haskins.
Wow. And Jack Haskins is one of the best researchers in the business?
In my opinion, he was. Jack was responsible for more Spanish treasure being recovered than anybody else. He turned the documents on almost all of the big name ships. It's just like it is in this business, somebody else hogs the credit.
So an unsung hero.
Yeah. The best thing for me, I worked with Jack for 32 years. And I don't mind telling you, I wouldn't know half what I know if it wasn't for him. And I was lucky because before I was with Jack, I was with Art McKee.
Now you got all the experts in line there.
Yeah, I mean, that was just good luck for Fizz.
Yeah, it was.
Fluted
lucky to have you
silver
here now,
cup.
so.
Yes, and I plan on being around a lot longer, so I'll be bothering you most of the time.
Thanks for coming by, Carl. It's been
okay, Billy.
a real honor to learn things. You know, Carl, you're one of the greatest treasures in the Keys. I know you know a lot about treasure, but you're truly a great resource we got down here.
It's just the way we rehearsed it, Bill.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, but wait, just a couple more quick things. We forgot the water tank.
The water tank?
Yeah.
Wow.
Next time, We'll show you this cannonball. It's got a scallop shell stuck to it, iron pin with a lot of broken black glass stuck to it, and an adze, which is a tool. One of my very favorite artifacts of all time. I have 3 of these. That is a flintlock pistol.
Wow, that's a pistol under all that
Yeah,
rock?
from 1733 fleet right out here. And there's a small canister shot ball in there, and that whole little package is small cannonballs. So when they shoot them out, it was a shotgun effect. And that's from the wreck of the USS Alligator, which Alligator Reef here in Islamorada is named after that ship. Part of the West Indies Squadron. They got cheated out of their place in history. The West Indies Squadron could be a Steven Spielberg movie.
Wow, that's
Oh
exciting.
well, I get going on the history of it and I can't quit.
Well, we gotta go for next time, right?
We will. We'll do it again.